This is Saudi Arabia's Line project, which is also known as NEOM Future City. This is the first time in years that the world will see such a big mega project. Not only big, but NEOM is also the most expensive construction project in the world. Two 500-metre-high skyscrapers are being made parallel to each other in this project, which is made with a cost of $500 billion. And they will be spread over 70 kilometres. This is just like making 4,500 copies of New York's One World Trade Center and putting them in one line. Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman dreams of making NEOM the advanced linear city of the future, a city in which 9 million people will be able to live in the mess of glass. But is it possible or not? What are the benefits of this organic cities? And what are the disadvantages? Is Saudi Arabia making any mistake by putting everything on stake to save its falling economy? And if this NEOM project fails for some reason, then what will be left behind? NEOM is the name of such a project of Saudi Arabia, which will be called the most unique city of its nature. When Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman announced it in 2021, it was said that maybe this project will never start. But when the satellite image is seen now, then the work has actually started on it. The location which was told to be exactly there is a really large under-construction line. It is really visible. Where is the long length of the line? 170 kilometres, while its width is only 200 metres. That is, this width is normally equal to a block of a society. The height of the NEOM is planned to be 500 metres. Two skyscrapers, 500 metres high, will be pulled to 170 kilometres. This is as high as the Imperial 2 of Mumbai cities. So now you can measure the height and length of the line yourself to see how big this megastructure will be. Just like the 830-metre high direction of the Burj Khalifa is towards the sky, the NEOM is not the highest, but it will definitely be the world's longest skyscraper. If such a project is made in New Delhi, its length will be spread to Agra. According to the plan of the Saudi Crown Prince, 9 million people will be able to live in this entire line city. If the area of this entire line city is removed, then we will multiply its length and width. 170 kilometres length and 200 metres or 0.2 kilometres width. So it becomes only 34 square kilometres. Only in this 34 square kilometres, 9 million people will live. That is, in 1 square kilometre, 66,000 people will live. India's 1.2 billion population area of Mumbai is 603 square kilometres. That is, here in 1 square kilometre, there are 19,900 people, which is only 7.5% of the population density of NEOM. If the world's largest city is taken as an example of Tokyo, then here in 1 square kilometre, 6,380 people live, which is only 2.4% of the population density of NEOM. Now it has been proven that according to the area, NEOM is a very optimized project, where many people will be able to live on low land in comparison to organic cities. That is, the work that had to be done in a city of 500 to 600 square kilometres, this work is being done only in 34 square kilometres. There is no doubt in this that the planning of the Saudi prince is very positive. The speed at which the world's population is increasing, it is very important, because only pre-planned cities like NEOM will be able to play a role in the future. Because in this, more people will be able to live on very low resources in comparison to organic cities. They can be made quickly and very cheap too. These types of cities are called linear cities. Because NEOM is a planned linear city, there are many benefits to it. As resources are very wasted in normal cities, but in a linear city, everything is planned. Because NEOM is a planned linear city, there are many benefits to it. This is why resources are very wasted, and this reduces the number of across markets. It is possible to imagine that the population of Mexico City is the proportion of NEOM's proposed population. But if all the roads in Mexico City are added, which includes main roads, streets and expressways, then total 300,000 km roads are built here. If this road network is made into one piece, then it is the colour of the Earth. 7.5 round trip. In comparison, the same population NEOM will have only 170 kilometres of road network. In this line city of NEOM, the pedestrian layer is placed at the top where no cars will run. The second layer is called the service layer, in which cars will also run and shops will also be in this layer. And the third is the spine layer, in which there will be a fully artificial intelligent high-speed train network. Anyone will have to go anywhere in the 170 kilometers of NEOM through the lift to the spine layer and will have to sit in the train and leave for their destination. This whole 170 kilometers will be covered by this high-speed train in just 20 minutes. These 20 minutes we waste on traffic signals while traveling in a metropolitan city. So now the question arises that if the benefits of linear cities are so much, then why other projects like NEOM are not being made anywhere else in the world? The fact is that this idea of linear city is quite old and it was also implemented. But it does not work as it is being thought. In the 19th century, a planned line city was built in a district. It was called Ciudad Lineal. Its width was 400 meters and it was 50 kilometers long, but the construction was only 5 kilometers long. The idea was that with time, an additional sector will be added to make it longer. But if you look at the ground situation, you will be surprised to know that it is very difficult to find this line city in Madrid today. This is that 5 kilometers line. Today, the city around it has completely hidden it, and it actually happens. If you look anywhere in the world, cities or settlements always grow in an organic way. People come to a place according to their requirements, and then the city starts to spread around that point. Before shifting anywhere, we see the distance between our offices, schools, or universities. According to our convenience, we select one location in the city and shift there. Whereas in linear cities, this option does not happen. In fact, everyone has to stay in the same pattern. And because it is too long, the distance between people also increases a lot. Something like this happened in the line city of Madrid. It could not meet the requirements of the people, which is why it could not move forward, but started to spread. All the benefits of linear cities are actually for the governments. It is easy to operate them, and the cost is also less. But people are bound in it. And most of all, no matter how long the line city is, it remains dependent on the outside world. To meet the daily life requirements, things come from outside. And obviously, all this stuff comes in from the entry and exit points of the line city. In this way, new organic cities are being built on their entry and exit points, which then gradually start to disturb them. In addition to Madrid, in many other countries, proposals for line cities were given. But they could never be completed, or the project was cancelled before their construction. So now the question arises, knowing all this, why did Saudi Arabia invest $500 billion in this new project? Saudi Arabia has used itself as a source of energy for its own economy. Started to create problems for Saudi Arabia, where other Arab countries had already taken this risk and diverted their economies towards tourism. On the other hand, experts believe that Saudi Arabia did not see the coming danger in time. According to estimates, around 2050, all the fossil fuel reserves of the earth will be depleted. And in this upcoming crisis, Saudi Arabia will be most affected. This is the reason why the world is rapidly moving towards electric cars or green energy. Saudi Arabia, whose 95% economy has been due to oil, now this dependency has become a sore throat. Experts believe that to get out of this dependency and divert Saudi economy towards tourism and technology, the Crown Prince has taken this step. Saudi Arabia's main source of income is Saudi Aramco. Its total value is $2 trillion. But this money is the worth of the oil company, which generates a profit of $120 billion every year, of which $70 billion goes into the country's budget. $50 billion are left behind. That is, if this profit remains for the next 10 years, Saudi Arabia will be able to bear the $500 billion of the project. And if this project fails for some reason, Saudi Arabia will not have time to divert its economy or to find other income resources. What do you think about this? Do let me know in the comments section. Goodbye.